Hi folks, hello, welcome back to another video right here on the channel. So, I'd like to start the video, obviously, with being January 1st, 2022, and wishing you lovely folks a Happy New Year from our house to yours, Melody.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year, folks. Okay, so it seems like it's been forever, doesn't it, since we've last made a Street Fighter video. Okay, so quickly, for anybody new here, this is the Street Fighter from Fanhome series. You get 4 magazines and you get 4 figures in a box. We go over the magazines, we show you the figures, and then at the very end we put a little carousel on, a little bit of music, and we show you the figures up close and personal. Okay, so shall we start, Melody? Can you believe we are up to issue number 23?
Wow.
And in this one, as always, you regulars, most like Glenn and people like that know, I'm blind as like a lot of you guys. I'm not too sure on like these characters. We got 4 in this box that I don't know who they are. Okay, so we're going to start with Makoto. Okay, issue number 23. So again, any of you regulars here know how much I butcher my Japanese pronunciations. Samurai Ken, I can hear in the background, but I'm sorry, mate. Okay, so Makoto, the true karateka. A fighter who grows in the face of adversity, Makoto is a teenage girl with a strong and competitive spirit who trained in her father's dojo from a very early age. Her interest in martial arts didn't make her popular among the girls around her, but this did not lead her to question her passion. So there we have Makoto. Okay, so these magazines are brilliant, Mel, because they give us that little bit of backstory to our fighters. Okay. So we've got Taking on the World. Makoto trusted her abilities and the training that her father had given her to prove to the world that Rindo Kan's karate could come out victorious against any other fighting style. So she looks like one of these kind of rebel kids who's a little bit of an upcomer. A little box here says, "Yes, my karate is traditional, but as effective as any other. Now you'll realise." So she's quite a feisty young lady, isn't she?
Yeah.
I love her. Okay, so we go into her bio. So here, date of birth, July the 1st. Place of birth, Japan. Height, 1.60 metres. Weight, 50 kilograms. Yeah, now there we go. Her first appearance is in Street Fighter 3, The Third Strike from 1999. So this is why I personally am not aware of it.
Yeah.
Because I am, as you all know by now, and to you returning folks, I know I'm just repeating the same stuff, but I am like a traditional Street Fighter 2 man. Okay, so her skills and techniques, quick and firm. Okay, so her main technique is called the Hayate, which is the punch push. And then we go to the, here we go again, new year, new start. Abere Tosanami, the Havoc from above. Karakusa, the Ferocious Choke. And Seikusen Godanzuki.
Well done.
The Heavenly Punch. Okay, so for anybody, in the know there, that is the little graphics of her moves there. And to anybody apart from like Samurai Ken, not so much apart from you, mate, but in Japan, I know there's a couple of you guys, you viewers over there, please heartfelt apologies. Okay, so this is Makoto. That's quite a nice poster. It's very traditional in the Japanese kind of colours and the
That's nice.
Yeah, it looks like an autumn kind of garden maybe. That's a really nice poster. It really is. Sometimes simple is effective, isn't it? So do you like the look of this girl?
Yeah, this looks alright.
Yeah. Okay, so The Legend of Street Fighter, and we move on to Street Fighter 5 Season 2. The second season of Street Fighter 5 added a highly anticipated arcade mode. So that was the arcade edition. It said it added 6 arcade sections, each with its own story. And apparently the 30th anniversary in arcade mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you these little pictures here, guys. Okay, because I know there are loads of you out there that do love, like ourselves, the Street Fighter art.
Yeah, it's great.
We are going to go up to what number 26 is, so we're nearly, I think there's 60 in the collection, so we're nearly halfway.
Wow.
I'm really enjoying it.
Wow.
Okay, this makes me smile. The History of Capcom section. Capcom goes portable, and the immortal Game Boy. I mean, I could tell you so many stories about these. I'm not going to bore you now because, but I loved my Game Boy. I have an original yellow one, don't I? Which, before we lived together, I borrowed to a certain person. I only want to play Tetris for a night. Yeah, it's still here in the bedroom drawer, do you know what I mean? But fantastic machine. Okay, this just basically tells us about some of Capcom's games, and unbelievably, I never knew this. Street Fighter 2 on the Game Boy says the smallest
cool.
Street Fighter 2. Just to show you that, guys. So I say I'm legit. I'm not winding you up. I couldn't even imagine. I tell you what though, I think it's the Neo Geo Colour has got a version. It might be Puzzle Street Fighter, but that's colour.
Cool.
And that really works. So, they could have pulled it off. Okay, and the history of Capcom finishing, the family grows, Capcom for Game Boy Colour and the Advance, and shows us Resident Evil Gaiden. I can hear Dave Ram shouting at me now. I knew you never knew about that one. I didn't. Okay. And Portable Curiosities. So, yeah, it looks like here there's a copy on the Game Boy Advance as well. The Game Boy Advance, Mel, being, I think it was the second or... the Game Boy, like a Game Boy Colour. Can't get my words out. I think then the Game Boy Advance. So that's the kind of lineage that we're talking about for this game to actually appear there.
Cool.
And we have our last little bit of Makoto there. Okay, little sketch. So, Mel, would you be as kind as show these lovely people? Okay, so again, folks, at the end, as per always, a little bit of glare there, but can't be helped. We will show you this young lady in all her glory. Okay, so moving on to issue number 24. And this is Cody. Looks like an interesting character.
He does, huh?
It appears to have chains on with the handcuffs. Let's have a look and let's find out, shall we? So, Cody, the street vigilante, a fighter administering justice in Metro City. Metro City? Cody Travers cut his teeth in the mean streets of Metro City and later became an important ally of the city's mayor. Cody's life has been anything but stable, but he has never given up on his fight against crime. He said, I saved the city, I rescued the girl, but I am who I am, and I can't save myself. So he seems like quite a complex character, doesn't he? From the off. So yeah, this could be really interesting, this one. Okay, an uncomfortable calm. Time went by and Cody found that the peace and tranquility of domestic life with Jessica was not for him. He had become accustomed to fighting for survival since he took his first steps. He felt it was in his blood, and his blood urged him to keep up the struggle. He said, I've had enough desk for today. I'll solve this personally instead of staying behind the table. So he's obviously a fighting cop. Okay, his profile. Where are we? April the 18th, date of birth. He is a place of origin, United States of America. Hiya to all you viewers out there. Height 1.85 metres, weight 80 kilograms, and the first appearance in Final Fight 1989. I knew that sounded familiar. Final Fight's a little big Capcom franchise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, now maybe they brought him over in one of the crossovers. Quite possibly, yeah. Now, I'm excited actually to get further through this now. The Whirlwind and the Knife. Cody's projectiles are unorthodox, but they complement other more forceful attacks. I'll tell you what. Okay, so we have the Badstone stroke tornado sweep. We have knife pickup or sidearm, so he's like a knife fighter as well. Ruffian kick, which is a sliding kick, and the criminal punisher, which is like the violent wind. So he does look really, really interesting, this guy. He really does. So I'm sure as we get later on in the sections of the magazine that we will find out what game he's actually, what iteration of Street Fighter he comes from, and maybe we could have a look at him. Okay, so that's I don't know why. I think it's like the striped suit and the handcuffs make him almost kind of remind me of a prisoner.
Yeah.
To be honest, where he's obviously he's a street cop. But hey ho. We move on. Okay, Street Fighter V Season 3. So in 2018, Capcom kept polishing Street Fighter V, making it the most complete instalment of the saga. So some new locations for Season 3 gave a facelift to classic backdrops. That I don't like. I love the classic backdrops, to be fair. Okay, so we'll just show you a little bit more of the Street Fighter V stuff. Okay, there we go. The history of Capcom. The Three Kingdoms, Warrior of Fate. Capcom's popular beat-em-up, based on a classic from ancient China. Capcom's classic beat-em-up. I've never seen it. Possibly it's been big in the arcades, that's why. Okay, so it looks quite good. It looks a little bit like a golden axe.
Yeah.
Side on, magic, weapons, steeds and stuff like that. Looks quite interesting. Might be able to find it on a MAME. Maybe Jason, not suitable for Mum. Maybe you've played it, buddy, because I know Jason loves his MAME and his arcade stuff. So if you have, bud, drop me a comment below. Let me know what it's like, please. Okay, The Emperor's Destiny. Before Warriors of Fate, Capcom set all the titles in the world of the Three Kingdoms. So there's Destiny of an Emperor for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Dynasty Wars, and it looks like the Kingdom in comics. Warriors of Fate and the 3 games that preceded it have their origins in manga called Tenchi Okuro, which was a Japanese comic book adaptation of the romance of the Three Kingdoms. Okay, so yeah, very, very, very big, obviously Japanese title, more so than having like its own, manga. But yeah, Cody, a really interesting character.
And his little stripy pyjamas, what they look like.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on to our third one. Are we really through 3 already? Okay, so this is issue 25. Looks like a young lady by the name of Ibuki. Okay, and there is Ibuki. So let's have a little find out about Ibuki. So student by day, expert fighter by night, Ibuki was trained in the arts of ninjutsu since her childhood, growing up in a hamlet in the depths of the Japanese mountains. Tired of that isolation, the greatest desire of the young girl was to discover the world around her. And she says, "Accept it, I've beaten you. Normally there are no second chances in real combats." Okay, so again, another feisty young lady. And it's lovely to see, isn't it? When we used to just originally have like Chun-Li.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see some of the female characters in there, you know. Okay, so World War. It says, for Ibuki, the summer holidays were devoted to training hard with her clan, although she was eager to travel abroad. So when she heard that a martial arts tournament was about to take place that would gather all the best fighters from across the world, the young girl didn't hesitate and immediately signed up for the tournament without informing her masters. Okay, so there we go. A little bit more imagery of Ibuki. Her bio. So, December the 6th, date of birth, birthplace Japan, height 1.62 metres, weight 55 kilograms, and she first appeared in Street Fighter 3 in 1997. Who knew? Okay, here we go. So, expert in ninjutsu. So, there's the kunai, the throwing knife, neck breaker, crikey, kafu kujetsu, and kasumi Suzaku. Okay, so the first one was the energy explosion and the second one was the kunai rain. Again, completely butchered, but I try my hardest for you lovely folks who love this fantastic franchise. Okay, oh no, that's a very dynamic picture, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I really like that. Is that like a raccoon?
Raccoon?
Yeah. Okay, so that's another fantastic poster, to be honest. What do you reckon to that? Comment down below. That was a really, really interesting poster. I'm not sure where the raccoon comes from.
No.
Maybe we shall find out. Okay, so Legend of Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5 Season 4 and the Champion Edition. Okay, so Champion Edition raised the number of selectable players to 40. So if you think the original Street Fighter, I think had 8. And then we moved off, I think it was up to 12, 16, like that, so 40. So by now, this is in the realm of the esports. You know what esports is, don't you? Where they have all the tournaments on the telly.
Oh.
And there's big money for, like, the top players. Do any of you guys watch esports? I personally don't. But I'm not really a competitive person, to be fair. But, yeah, it's out there, isn't it? Okay, so the history of Capcom, and a little smile on Melody's face. Disney at its best, the Magical Quest trilogy. In the early 90s, Capcom released this memorable platform game for the SNES, starring Mickey Mouse. I think I've played this one, the Magical Quest, yeah. It looks nice though, doesn't it? Yeah. It's got a very Castle of Illusion kind of look to it, hasn't it? Look at her face light up. Okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a little bit of Mickey Mouse. A few of you may have seen last year when I'd done my Grail, and that was actually Mickey, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, wasn't it? So I like a bit of Mickey Mouse. Okay, and Mickey's gaming partners. Oh yeah, there you go. Minnie and Donald accompanied Mickey in Magical Quest 2 and Magical Quest 3. So they are on the Super Nintendo, that's a SNES box. And we see the Game Boy Advance with Magical Quest 3 as well. So there you go, guys. A little bit of a retro gaming love there, as always. And we see Ibuki in her little sketch form there. And if you be as kind, Mel.
Here she is, Ibuki.
Again, folks, like I say, you'll see her properly on a turntable, okay? Okay, 4 really interesting characters this month. Okay, so it's either Gen or Jen. He looks like an old kind of master.
He does, yeah.
Gen or Jen, guys? Which do you think it is? I'd be thinking Jen, but hey-ho, what do I know? Okay, so Jen, the Devil of Hong Kong, an expert in many martial arts, deadly in combat. Jen's great age leads many rivals to mistakenly think he is easy prey, but the old man has lost none of his speed and deadly efficiency of his youth, and he is still capable of knocking down a rival in seconds. And he says, "You can't see my fists because they move with hell's rage. Your end is here." So, never judge a book by its cover, obviously. This guy is an old master. Okay, the wise man embraces the silence and nobody sees him coming. The fool is heard from afar. So we're getting very almost Buddhist. Well, not so much Buddhist, is it, in like a fighting capacity, but you know, we're getting very Eastern, aren't we? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's interesting. It says terminal illness among the most prominent of Jen's students was a young girl called Chun-Li. See the way they all come in? The daughter of a great friend of his, and the brothers Yun and Yang. Although he only trained them occasionally and reluctantly, since he disliked the boy's lack of discipline, but the peaceful life that Jen had managed to build for himself fell apart when he was diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh dear.
It even appears to spread to the Street Fighter universe, doesn't it? Okay, so says, did you know a deadly master? Well, I think we gathered that he's a deadly master without reading too much of that out. Okay, so date of birth, 10th of March. His birthplace is China. 1.66 metres, 61 kilograms, and he first appeared in Street Fighter 1987. I should know him. I should know him, shouldn't I, folks? I should do. Okay, so Jen, the man that killed hundreds. Okay, it says Jen is one of the fighters that is most difficult to master in a Street Fighter franchise. That is mainly due to his two clearly differentiating fighting styles, Crane and Mantis, which a player can alternate during the combat. Okay, so it says the Mantis style offers quick and direct attacks, ideal to put pressure on the enemy, while the Crane style is stronger, switching styles to link attacks and combos, and so confusing his rivals is the key to Jen's victory. Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't fancy that at all.
No.
I like bish, bash, bosh, Hadouken! Sorted. Okay, none of this flicking into that style, flicking that, nah, not for me. There's probably a million people out there who are a whole lot more articulate, but nah, I'm like, Hadouken! Okay, so these fighting styles then, oh my word. The higher Kurenko, the 100 points of pressure. Taiga, destruction. Jakiro, the ascending kicks, and Shitenketsu, the 1,000 points of pressure. So he got 100 points of pressure and 1,000 points of pressure. So he's not a man to be messed with, is he, obviously?
No.
Do you know what I mean? He's like Master Miyagi on steroids, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. I love the colours. They fit lovely up on the wall here.
Yeah.
In Studio 2. Very purple. Should we show the folks?
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. There is our friend, Jen. So yeah, real mixed bag this month. Real mixed bag. Do you know, I can't wait to shoot the next one now, I'll be honest, you know. Okay, so where are we? The Legend of Street Fighter, compilations of Street Fighter. What could be better than playing Street Fighter? Many Street Fighters in a single pack. Now, I think I've played this, you know, Street Fighter Collection on a Sony PlayStation. Street Fighter 2 Collection, Sony PlayStation. And then, yeah, it goes on to an Alpha Anthology. So, again, the retro gamers amongst us will totally appreciate these. And I say every episode, don't I, Mel, about going away and reading a section of a magazine, you know, because there's something just catches my eye. Okay, the history of Capcom, role-playing, Japanese style, the Breath of Fire saga. Breath of Fire, I've heard of it, I've never played any of them. I love my RPGs in later life, with the exception of the Legend of Zelda on the NES. I didn't play a lot of them. Okay, until the almighty Skyrim, and that took my life. That's a different story for a different day. Okay, So yeah, a series of titles that became a cult hit with role-playing game fans, and I can see why. It's basically JRPG, Japanese role-playing. Basically looks like turn-based combat. So what you do your moves, and then the computer does its moves, and the combat resolved. There we go. A la Final Fantasy, guys. And I did play a lot of Final Fantasy 7 as well, to be fair, undoing my last point. Okay, so look at that little pixelated art there. That's me all over. I just love like pixel art. It's still the most amazing art format, I think, in video games. You can keep all your big fancy graphics and Unreal 25 billion engines, and nah, not for me. Give me Mario any day of the week. Okay, more Dragonfire, the 6 instalments of the Breath of Fire saga. So it says, after the success of the first Breath of Fire, Capcom didn't wait long to develop a sequel consolidating a saga that over time would expand to other platforms, from PlayStations to mobile phones. Okay, so it just shows a little bit of the later titles there, guys. Okay, and again, let me know down below if you've played any of these. There is our little graphic of Jen, and if you'd be so kind, the last time in this one.
Hard to see, got some of the box covers.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm going to do the turntable. Okay, folks, so that was episode 7, January the 1st, 2022. So, if you're new here, be nice. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Look back on the previous 6 episodes of this series. All you returning folks who love it as much as we do, thank you as always. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next month for another one. Melody?
Bye-bye for now.
See you later.